Again, joining you for a little bit of chair yoga. This is a great break for those of you who find yourself working from home. I've worked from home for almost 3 years now, and unfortunately we have a standing desk, but these stretches are really nice to do to break up a day as your kids are working from home and finding themselves, whether they're at a desk, a kitchen table, or working from their beds, as my two are. These are some really nice stretches just to break up the day a little bit. So if you find yourself sitting in a chair or stuck on calls, nice thing is most of this you can do while you're sitting on a call. You can start just by lifting arms up and out of the picture and just doing some stretches, something basic, and then taking a twist. And the great thing in a chair is you've got a little bit of leverage. I'll move to the side here. If I'm coming to the side, you can use a chair to help twist the body. Notice I'm staying tall, so twist over to the right and hold this maybe for 10 seconds. Maybe take your head over your back shoulder. If you're not on a video call, this is really nice because you can do this without nobody actually noticing. And make sure you get the opposite side. Bump a little pop. Couple things when you're twisting. Make sure your body is tall. I like to perch myself on the edge of a chair. Sometimes when we're sitting back, it's hard to move, or we tend to roll. Keep the spine nice and tall. And then we're going to move from side to side. So adding a little movement here. Keep your feet firmly planted on the ground and just move and twist from side to side a little bit. Do this maybe 3 or 4 times. And then come back to center with a nice little tall stretch up. And then for those of us who work on the computers all day long, take the wrists, roll the wrists out, make a fist, make a real tight fist, and just roll. You want to try to give your brain a work, try to get both to go to the right. Let's see how weird one side works and one side doesn't. And then simple things. Grab the tips of your fingers and pull the wrist back. Extend the arm. So you can see my elbow is fully extended. I'm pulling back on the tops of my fingers. Try that. Then grab the thumb and make sure the thumb is involved in that. So I'm pulling the whole palm back, not just stretching the fingers. You pull the whole thumb back, press through the heel of the hand, and hold that for about 10 seconds or so. Reverse that, grabbing the whole palm again. You can see thumbs under the palm, extending the elbow. Also try to rotate the elbow up. What I mean by that, maybe you can see my arm, my bicep rotates out a little bit. Get a nice stretch on the forearm. And then roll that wrist out. And go the other side. Pull the palm back. I'll move this way again. You can see my arm is nice and long. Try to get straight out of the shoulder. If you have mobility, it's okay to have it down, but up tall. Reverse the hand. Just give the arm a nice long stretch. And again, roll the wrist out. And then we're going to move to working the lower body. So we've done a lot of running, a lot of squats, body weight squats. The legs are a little tired. You can do a lunge in your chair. So come to the edge of the chair. If you've got something to hang on to here, it's nice too. And drop the right knee down to the ground. And try to walk that leg back as far as you can. You can see my front leg just as if we were standing full in a lunge. Keeping the ankle under there, underneath or slightly in front of the knee. Try to sit up tall. You should feel a good stretch on this back leg. And then if you want, raise the same arm up. Left leg down, left arm up. As you notice, not cranking into my lower back, I'm staying tall. Reaching with the back leg, reaching tall here. Breathe. Then come down first if you need to drag this leg up. And then switch sides. I'm perched a bit here so that the leg can flow off of the chair as much as possible. Get yourself set up, feel stable here. And then when you're ready, maybe the arm just comes up table level. Reaches up tall. or even back a little bit. Wherever you're at, make sure that there's no pain in the lower back. That means you're lifting up tall, keeping your chin level, reaching the back foot back. The body is ready. Arm down. And exhale, bring this back up. Good stretch for the front body. We're going to come back to the first side, and I'm just moving to the side so you can see a little better. And keep that first leg again. Hamstring stretch. So from here, we're going to take the leg, extend it long. There's no need to have a strap or there's no need to have a towel because you're going to hinge from the hips. So if you notice my back, it looks like my chest is leading, my collarbone is leading. Shoulder blades pull together. So I like to take my hands on my hips, pull the shoulder blades together, and then act as if you're trying to reach the collarbone down. You may not go very far. This might be enough where you feel the hamstring stretch. I hope you can see too that my extended foot, the foot is flexed up. So you're getting a little bit of a stretch through the back of the calf, maybe the knee, and stretch in here. Again, hold for 10, maybe up to 30 seconds. Then you can go ahead and switch. In the front, just keep this one foot planted, flex the toes, they're coming up, and then hinge forward. Wherever you're at, keep the shoulder blades pulling together, keep your gaze forward. There's no reason to look down, nothing's going anywhere. If you need added extra support, grab onto the seat of the chair and just let the belly rest on top of the thigh. So come back up. You can repeat those two stretches, those series a couple times. It's kind of nice. Another thing to add is a little bit of a hip rotation. You're going to take your ankle. Left ankle is going to cross over the right knee. From here, same thing as always. We're trying to make sure that we have a solid base on this bottom foot. So if you need to let this lunge forward a little bit, that's fine. What you want to be careful of is that you're not pushing on the kneecap at all. But I also don't want this real tight up. So if I were to stand up, the leg is not benching real close. We're keeping the shin parallel to a wall in front of you. And it should look like a 4. If we were to stand up, this looks a little bit like a 4 or backwards 4. And from here, flex the foot again if you need your hand to hold it. Left leg is on top. You're going to take the left hand, rotate the hip out at the thigh. So I'm holding on middle, maybe the lower part of the thigh a little bit, maybe even just to add a little bit of pressure. From here, you can just start by moving the leg back and forth. So if you remember, we do this once in a while seated, kind of the same action, but you're getting a little bit of the benefit out of this. Again, maybe you're all sitting on a call, even watching TV. Forward. Again, it doesn't need to be very far. You may find yourself, this is enough. Stay here. If you can fold forward, go for it. Some of you may have some flexibility with our arms around the leg. If you get to the point where you can fold in without rounding the back, you shouldn't feel any pressure in that lower part of the back or the mid part of the back. You can then drop the head a little bit. And maybe rock back and forth. If that's a good option. If you hear this is still a good option, keep rocking. For some of you, you may even want a little bit more. Wrap the elbow around the foot, keep the foot flexed, and rock back and forth. I know, show off. Nice little hip rotation, hip mobility. This is a great option too if doing double pigeon on the floor. Any deep stretches for your knee don't work. Let's switch to the other side. Left leg is going to go on the ground, right ankle on top of left knee. Check in. The shin here is parallel with you right now. So the foot is flexed, and then I'm just going to start swaying from side to side. Now, if there's any discomfort, if you feel any pain in the sit bones when you're doing this out of a chair, make sure that you add a blanket underneath or a pillow. Just make sure you have some comfort. Staying close to a table sometimes is nice. Believe it or not, sometimes chair yoga can be challenging to the balance. And as always, when we're doing any type of mobility work or stretching. We want to keep lengthening the spine. Even when we do cat and cow or rounding it and flexing our spine, we still keep length. So we're not crunching, we're not letting the abs and our core muscles collapse. So there is a drawing of the navel. Forward if it's there for you, or add the little of the leg. We call this rock the baby. Go ahead, release the leg, come back, put yourself on the edge of the chair, spread the legs from side to side a little bit. And come back to the hamstring. So this time both legs are going to go long. Hold on to your chair. So my legs are pointed out, and we're just going to flex. Move to the side here. I'm going to point and flex the feet. Extension, flexion. So just get a little bit of a stretch and movement. This should move between the shin muscles and the calf muscles. Staying tall. And then let's hold with the toes pointed. You might feel a toe cramp here. Reverse this, coming the opposite direction. And then from here, separate your feet just slightly. Plant both feet on the ground. You can bend the knees and let the body roll over. So you're resting the belly and the chest on the thighs. Arms come down, drop the head. From here, if it's okay, sorry about the pop up there. If it's okay, you can take both hands behind your skull. Most of us have a real definitive spot where the skull lands without squeezing or pulling. You can just wrap your hands behind it, take the thumbs by the bottom of the skull, and just add a little extra weight of your hands. It's not a pull, it's not a push. If there's any negative response from the body, stop entirely. Over. Use the hands and thighs to come back up. From here, we're going to reach up. Exhale, take the arms, do a little twist over to the left. Love that pop. Inhale, come back up. The opposite direction. Interlace fingers. Maybe lift the chest a bit. There. Quick little break during the day. Definitely not necessarily super easy, but an option for you to do moving forward, whether you're working or just would like to do a little yoga from the chair. Thanks a lot, guys.